Ideologies aren't anything new. Strip away an ideology and another one will replace it. It's part of human nature. There's something I noticed, and I have a hypothesis that goes across all ideologies. They are there due to the fear of death. It's not the only reason, but it's one. The more obvious places are Christianity and Islam. You do the right thing, you go to heaven. You do the wrong thing, don't follow the rules, you go to hell. Judaism is more about what you do on earth, but there is a part where every righteous person, whether Jewish or not, will end up in the next world. So the idea that death is part of that is not anything new. But my sense is also that it applies to ideologies like wokeness, whether on the right or left. You are special. You see something that no one else does. You're special. They're not. You're good. They're evil. We're meaning-making, group-forming animals. We tell stories about our shared traditions and existence. When one ideology leaves, another one will replace it always. And those stories are what help us make meaning out of our life before we're gone. In Nazism and fascism, it's the same idea. It's just based on race, national identity, historical identity. But you are special and the outsiders are not. They are a threat. Once that line is drawn, it's easier to put aside your moral constraints and do things that you wouldn't normally do. Within Islam, the idea is that Muslims are awake to the one true God and everyone else must submit. This idea is a parallel to wokeness, where there is exclusive truth and moral urgency. And yes, horrible things have been done in the name of Christianity, but Christianity does not condone these things. With the kafir in Islam, the unbeliever, it sits closer to the central idea of what the texts do condone. With wokeism on the left, when you decide that you are good and awake and others are sleeping and evil, ordinary limits go away by any means necessary, which is what allows you to celebrate a husband and a father being killed just because he worked for an insurance company, or celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk just because he disagreed with you. And this is not exclusive to the left. On the woke right, in 2025 in Minnesota, who shot and killed a Democratic lawmaker and her husband and attempted to kill another person. This is just one example. Now, of course, Christian nationalism is not congruent with actual Christianity. It's about using the religion as a tool for power instead of the teachings of loving your neighbor. That's why the vacuum-filling nature of ideology is so important to pay attention to. Once we remove one, it will be replaced with something else. And that one might not be so concerned about the nature of human life over the greater good. Well, I wouldn't consider myself a conservative. I can appreciate part of what conservatism does. There's the story of Chesterton's fence, where you come upon a fence and one person will want to tear it down, not knowing why it was there in the first place. That is someone who wants to tear down the system just to replace it with something new, but not understanding the history of why that fence was there in the first place. I do think it is important to understand why the fence was there instead of just keeping it there, so I would add that part. But there is something that I've learned to appreciate about conservatism based on those ideas. I'm not going to be convinced that one ideology is better than another through reasoning and debate. Reasoning can be so faulty. What does convince me is seeing the places that I would want to live in this world, and that is the evidence that I need.